Hey everyone, Jen Loves Wrestling here. Happy Wednesday. Hope you're having a great day. I just want to get you guys a video about TakeOver 31 out before NXT tonight. Was having a pretty busy week, so this is the soonest I could work on a video. But it actually worked out really good because that way I'm also able to cover what I feel is the biggest wrestling story of the week, something that I'm really excited to talk about. And we will get to that right after we talk about TakeOver 31 this past Sunday. So let's get to it. This past Sunday, coming to you from the new Capitol Wrestling Center. They debuted that venue for TakeOver 31. They opened with a package touching on the history of Capitol Wrestling, how it was a predecessor to WWE. And I think it was a great way to ease into the show and also give us an introduction of why this was so important and why it was so important to WWE to do this. I actually really like the Capitol Wrestling Center. I think, I don't know, like, it's hard to, it's like, I don't want to say I like it more than the Thunderdome, because to me it's kind of comparing apples and oranges. The Capitol Wrestling Center just, it's exactly what it should be, though. It has a very throwback feel to it. It's very bare bones and gritty, no bells and whistles, whereas the Thunderdome also accomplishes what it is supposed to do. It's supposed to be grandiose. It's supposed to have the fireworks and the, big feel. And I don't think anything is wrong with either for my personal taste. I really like how the Capitol Wrestling Center looks, but I think they did a great job with working with what they had to work with through these difficult times and doing what they had to do. And I think the Thunderdome works great in a Raw and SmackDown capacity, and the Capitol Wrestling Center works great in an NXT capacity. So enough about that. Let's get to the first match. So we had the North American champion Damian Priest taking on Johnny Gargano. And if Johnny Gargano was to pull this off, and if Candice LeRae was to pull off her match later, they would be husband and wife champions for the first time in NXT history. So Johnny came out in the first match with a lot on the line. Obviously Priest had a lot on the line. He literally had the title, but Johnny had this personal goal hanging above his head. Unfortunately, he could not get the job done, and Damian Priest retains, still your North American champion. One thing I really liked about this match, I think it was a good start to the show because one of the things I really liked about the match the most was how even it was. It was a complete back and forth match. You really couldn't tell which way this was going to go, and sometimes those are the best kind of matches. But it was so even. They were so evenly matched. Time on offense was, pretty much the same. One would get everything. The timing just seemed really perfect to me. I love that match. So then we had Kushida versus Velveteen Dream. And Kushida picked up the W there, which I think was the right call because they're pushing this more aggressive side of Kushida, which is actually really fun to watch. I'm enjoying this version of Kushida. I enjoy, all versions of Kushida. I love the fun Back to the Future kind of guy, but that just seems like he would be everybody's pal. But, he's kind of done taking a back seat, and he is ready to show his aggression and ready to show why he should be moving up in the ranks, and this was a very good case for that. So congratulations to Kushida picking up the big W on that one. Then we had our third match of the evening, which was Santos Escobar, your Cruiserweight champion, versus Isaiah Swerve Scott. Santos Escobar retained, which I was very happy about. I will admit, honestly, just from a pure character standpoint, I am just not a big fan of Isaiah Swerve Scott. I've seen his podcast, of course. You guys know the episode I'm referring to. The one he had Marcel and Fabian on. Of course, I had to check that out. Seems like a nice guy. I've nothing against him in the ring. He's fantastic in the ring. I just wouldn't consider myself a fan. I don't connect with the character. I don't really get it. Swerve doesn't mean confidence. It means like what you do when you're driving and you want to avoid hitting a squirrel and stuff like that. So yeah, Swerve is a little weird to me, but he just comes out and does those strange poses and stuff. Like, like he has a headache. I don't know. But to each their own. I know he's got a lot of fans. Seems like a great guy. Don't want to dog him too much. But the only reason I'm bringing all that up is because I have to give him a tremendous amount of credit for one thing in this match. I mean, a lot of things. But one particular thing I want to give him some super duper credit, extra points on, is his selling. I think, especially the finish of the match. Oh my God, he looked like he just friggin' out to lunch. You know, like Swerve is just, he's always a good seller. He's fantastic in the ring. I love the finish of this match. I thought it was fantastic. These first 3 matches, honestly, we were well on our way to one of the best takeovers of all time. The first 3 matches, honestly, I wouldn't change anything. I think the first 3 matches were flawless. The first 3 matches. So then we get to Io Shirai, your champion, versus Candice LeRae. And this is where we stumbled a little bit. I think one thing I will say for these ladies, though, is I think that possibly, if argument's sake here, they maybe had more on their shoulders than even the main. Because we knew what they were capable and what they could pull off from TakeOver Toronto. I was there live at TakeOver Toronto. Io Shirai and Candice LeRae was the match outside of the main that stole the show. I mean, that match, honestly, with my personal history, I used to be a female wrestler. Female wrestling is very near and dear to my heart. I'm not going to lie, I got teared up a little bit watching their TakeOver match live. It far exceeded my expectations, and it was so well done, and I was moved by it. But this match, I was not moved. It was a good match. I would not say it was a great match. I didn't have any... I don't think they lived up to the hype. I don't think they lived up to that TakeOver Toronto standard. This wasn't enough to kill anything for me until the finish. Oh, boy. Yeah. So, Candice LeRae hits Io Shirai with the title belt. Io Shirai not only kicked out of that, which I was almost willing to forgive if she didn't completely no-sell it, go up to the top rope, hit a Spanish fly without a hitch, go back up to the top rope, perfectly, well, I mean, as perfectly as she can, I guess, but execute, we'll say this, execute, in the way she executed her moonsault. So she did the Spanish fly, did that, went back up to the top rope, hit the moonsault, all after getting hit with the belt. I don't know. The no-selling, that was a little much for me. I mean, she didn't even try. I mean, it wasn't, I hate to talk back, so I'm just going to move on, but this is the first thing that I really got to deduct some serious points for, because I had a huge problem with that finish. Disappointing from her with that. She has gone down a few pegs in my book. I know she is very loved, but a little less loved from me right now. And also, I just want to note before we move on to the main, this match and this outcome and the finishing sequence, 0% Candice LeRae's fault. I mean, yes, it was 0% her fault. It was not Candice LeRae's fault at all. She had nothing to do with why the finish was a terrible idea. Okay, so, main event. Finn Balor, your champion, versus Kyle O'Reilly. Excellent match. Loved it. Fantastic. I think this match actually did live up to the hype and more. Kyle O'Reilly is special. I mean, it's funny. I could stand here and talk to you guys about Kyle O'Reilly, and I'm not telling you anything that you don't already know. I mean, we all freaking love the hell out of Kyle O'Reilly, don't we? He is just such a unique, such a rare kind of wrestler. A very, very special talent. And he's got the personality to back it up, too. Especially just everything we've seen of him. He just, he comes off as a good guy. Like, kind of a cool guy. He's funny. And wrestling-wise, you couldn't really ask for anything more. This match was brutal. This match was crazy. They started out with the excellent technical wrestling, the catch can kind of stuff, which is near and dear to my heart, kind of wrestling that I love. And then they turned it up, and it just kept getting better and better, and it was fantastic. And I even love how we're getting a little bit of nice guy Finn Balor here. I mean, from him giving props to Kyle before the match on the previous NXT with their face-to-face interview, to this where they had a sign of respect after the match, and then comes the next thing that I gotta deduct some more points from, guys. I'm sorry. Yeah, that stuff with Ridge Holland, though. What was that? We have been logoed many times before. This was not one of my favorites. It didn't really feel like a, ooh, I gotta tune in next to see what happens kind of thing. It just felt weird and awkward to me. Like, Ridge Holland just randomly dumping an unconscious Adam Cole over the guardrail onto the floor, and Undisputed Era crowds around, and is did you see what happened? What happened? What happened to you, Adam? Okay, the one thing I did like about that, they looked at Finn and they're like, did you see anything? And Finn's like, and he kind of looked like slightly concerned. Like, he actually, it was I don't know, it was a nice moment from Finn there again. I kind of like that, that version of Finn, that he's showing more humanity instead of this shooter Balor that we've been getting lately, which is super annoying to me. But yeah, back to this whole thing with the Era. My immediate thing that came to mind was they're all like, what happened? What happened, Adam? Well, what's going on? Did you see anything? Did you see anything? I don't know. I'm no Sherlock Holmes here, but maybe try asking the guy who just dumped him in your lap. Ridge Holland might know something. Yeah, I mean, you could check. You could always ask him, see what he says. So it all just came off a little strange to me, super random, weird. And then somebody else pointed out to me too. This hadn't occurred to me until somebody else mentioned that how would Ridge have gotten Adam alone anyways? Like, Kaya was out there having the match of his life. Don't you think that all the other members of Undisputed Era, all three of them, were huddled around the TV set in the back together watching the match? Like, how was Adam separate from his Era brothers? Yeah, so I don't know. Okay, so whatever. Yeah, I mean, there was two big, huge, weird things in this show. Other than that, I still overall don't think it was a bad show. I think the first three opening matches were, the Damian Priest, the North American title match, Kushida vs. Dream, and Escobar vs. Swerve were fantastic. And, I mean, if we could have just stopped there and then had Balor and O'Reilly, but just the match and not, like, the strange stuff afterwards, I don't know. To each their own. I mean, there was more positives than negatives on this card, in my opinion, but it's still some things that I did have to deduct some points for. But anyways, like I said, I did want to talk about something else other than TakeOver, and I did want to end on a high note, so I'm going to talk about what I think was the coolest, best thing of the week. Something that I am so excited for. Something that was needed desperately on both sides, and that was the unveiling of the new leader of Retribution. Let me tell you why I am marking out majorly for this, like screaming at the TV, super excited. I have been a fan of Mustafa Ali since the Cruiserweight Classic. I watched when 205 first started, and it seemed like everybody was getting pushed except Ali. I was there through the ups and downs. I love Mustafa Ali. He is one of my absolute favorites on the entire roster. So to see him get this kind of an opportunity, guys, this is so huge for Ali. Despite how you feel about Retribution, despite how you feel about how they've been booked before this show, which, the concerns, the complaints and all that that are coming out about Retribution are absolutely valid, and I agreed with all of them. Now Retribution has me back on board, though, because of this. I'm a huge Mustafa Ali fan, and it's so good for him. It's something for him, and it's something really top level for him, and I could not be more thrilled and excited and happy for Ali. This is so well deserved for him. I'm going to tell you why else this was great. The execution was absolutely spotless. It was perfect. Perfection. Everything from before the match, when Ali was backstage talking to MVP, and he looks at MVP and he's like, when I'm done with you, I'm going to come after you and you. Shelton Benjamin and Bobby Lashley. And they came after him, alright. So that, that made sense to me. The whole thing, Retribution coming out, it just, from the second Retribution came out, that whole thing was so great. Retribution comes out, and it's like this, oh no, here we go again with Retribution versus the Hurt Business. The Hurt Business stands there back to back, and they look at Ali, and they're like, are you in? Are you with us on this? And Ali hesitates for a second, and then he's like, yeah, I'm with you, They put their backs to each other and, ready for battle. I think that this was interesting even before anything further happened, because this could have been seen by, Ricochet and Apollo as, you fought with them, so what's going on there? But I didn't see it as that. Personally, I seen it as this was a Raw vs. Retribution thing. This wasn't Ali joining the Hurt Business. This wasn't Ali taking sides with the Hurt Business. This is, when it comes to battle, you put your differences aside and you go to war. And that's what Ali was doing with the Hurt Business. He jumps out of the ring, confronts Retribution, and they show the Hurt Business in the ring laughing. And I mean, it could be taken a few different ways. It could have been taken about, oh yeah, we got this guy on our side, what's up now? But it most likely was, wow, you're so stupid, you fell for that, now you're going to take the fall for us. But that was not to be either. So, I mean, I'm just looking at the time right now. We're going a little long. We're going way long. Yeah, so then Ali looks at them. You think that they're going to come to blows, and nope, he goes, get them. So, Retribution attacks the Hurt Business. Mustafa Ali is your new leader of Retribution. I am super pumped about it, guys. I hope you are too. Tell me what you think about that. Tell me what you thought of TakeOver 31. Leave it in the comment section below. I would love to hear from you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the video. If you liked it, make sure you give it that thumbs up. I love you guys. Have a good night. Bye. Mwah.